Recently, a few people who accurately predicted beforehand that Trump would be shot in the ear have become popular in the prophecy world. How do we discern if these people are true prophets or not? You have to be very careful and look at them because, like for instance, when people were prophesying Trump would be reelected, and other people were prophesying it wasn't. Bottom line is, it either happens or it doesn't. There's two choices, and when half the people are prophesying one and half are prophesying the other, as soon as something happens, that one group becomes known as prophets. Not saying that they didn't predict it accurately or anything like that, but we just have to be careful going forward. Number one, does everything they prophesy come to pass? Because biblically, a prophet has to be 100% accurate. It's not like he's getting out a crystal ball and looking and it's kind of fuzzy. So he's thinking it might be Trump being shot, or maybe it's something else. It's not going to be complicated like that. It's going to be more like a phone call. And you pick up the phone very clearly. God or someone says, "This is going to happen tomorrow at this time period. Get out of town." Now, if it doesn't happen, the guy on the phone is lying to you. You don't say, "Well, I think that's what it said." So they have to be 100% accurate. And we're warned many times throughout scriptures in Kings and in Ezekiel and other places to not fall for a false prophet. And a prophet is someone that, if you think of Elijah, does all sorts of miracles. I run into false prophets before, and they've said, "Well, I'm a prophet. I know what I'm doing." And I've asked them to prove it. Do a localized prophecy about me. What's going to happen to me tomorrow? What kind of a person am I going to meet? What are they going to be wearing? Tell me something. Or heal somebody, or do something. And they actually respond back by saying, "Well, some of those things don't happen anymore." No, they all happen or they don't happen, one or the other. And so the early church fathers said that they would continue to happen. So we have to be very careful of that. Um, there's a lot of false prophets. One of the things that I have to ask is, like, we have the Bible, for instance. If you're a prophet and you don't know anything about the book of Daniel, anything at all, you don't know anything about a rapture. I mean, you've heard about it, but I remember one prophet saying, "I don't know. I just know what the Lord tells me." Why don't you study? I mean, we had a school of prophets. Now we have fake schools of prophets today where they teach you how to prophesy, how to like open your mind and do stuff. That's not how it works either. That's all basically witchcraft, the meditation type stuff. Um, you have all the texts in the Bible, the major and minor prophets, Matthew, what Jesus said, the book of Revelation, First, Second Thessalonians. Make sure you understand those. And then there's the school of the prophets, which has just recently been given back to us. So study those, and then we'll be students of the prophets or sons of the prophets. Then I can see the Lord raising up from that circle a prophet. But I can't see, and I'm not saying it doesn't happen, the Lord can do whatever he wants, but it doesn't make sense for a new Christian that knows absolutely nothing about anything to say, "I'm a prophet. God told me such and such." It's just kind of strange. So you'll notice these people saying stuff like that. They can't do miracles, or they're charlatans. And I told the story a couple weeks ago about a guy in the Kansas City area that claimed to be a prophet. And he said, "The Lord told me who's going to be the next president." So he writes it down on paper, puts it in a box, locks it with two locks, gives the key to one lock to one deacon, the key to the lock to the other deacon, and says, "When after the elections, we'll open this box and you'll see that I'm right." Well, that, what's going on. He's probably got a fake bottom of the box, and he will put the piece of paper in he wants after the election, and the other two people will always have the keys. It's just a trick. If he was a real prophet, take a spray can and write the name of the next president on the wall in front of God and everybody months before it happens. So when they walk in the church every Sunday, they see the name up on the wall. That's what a prophet would do. Not any of this, here's a card, pick a card. So I'm not trying to make fun of anybody, but you have to yield to the Holy Spirit, think about what's going on, and go forward. So I don't know of anybody that's predicted the actual year. Of course, I haven't been paying attention to it. So it'll be interesting for me to look at that and kind of see what happens.